Hello, my name's Rose Harrison and the presentation that I'm giving today is on a learning engagement on how does the IB really enhance lifelong learning. Just a little bit about myself. I have been teaching International Baccalaureate since 2000 until now. I've been teaching both the diploma and the NYP programme. Some of the things I've been involved in is being a marker and moderator of the higher level internal assessment and paper 2. And last year I started working for Building Quality Curriculum, looking at assessing and evaluating unit plans on their pilot study and then on their first session, which just finished in April. In addition to that, I've given workshops on diploma for the Swiss Group of International Schools, and also more recently I've been involved in working with OUP writing the mathematics textbook. I've done some consultancy in both diploma and NYP in Barcelona and Berlin. Thank you. Hello, welcome to this learning engagement today. Today what we're going to look at is this question here. How does the IB promote lifelong learning through the NYP and through the diploma programs? I'm just going to give you a little introduction about myself and why I'm giving this workshop. This is my experience as Alright, today's learning engagement is really centred around the synergistic approach to the IB programme model and how by doing that we are going to enhance lifelong learning. What I'm trying to look at really is you will be looking at the programme model of the NYP and transferring some of those skills to the DP to see which aspects are really evident to produce lifelong learners. Basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at the programme model, breaking it down into its components, analysing those components individually and then rebuilding them up to see whether the IB has successfully got their programme right to see about lifelong learning. There'll be 3 specific engagement activities and there'll be lots of open discussion forums. Okay, the first activity I'd like you to do is to answer this question in your tables. Why do you think we want the students to be lifelong learners? Is to represent your findings in a graphical organiser with polar functionality. What I mean by that is if you put lifelong learning in the middle and then the different elements of why you think lifelong learning is important to your students around the outside. I'll give you 5 minutes and I'll come around. There's pens and paper on the table.
It's going to be graphic organiser with polar function.
Okay, fantastic. If you've got those, if we can just have a look at those. Okay. You've got some really good ideas there. I can see that you've really thought about that, and I think it's really good, the polar functionality. So you've got the really important things closer to the centre, and then the further they've spread out, the less important that they say. Okay, that's fantastic. A couple of things I want to look at now is, obviously you're familiar with the programme models of both the middle years programme and the diploma programme. The student is featured in the centre, represented by the IB learner common to both of them. But the 4 activities that we're going to look at next really look at the concepts. You can have the learner profile activity. You can have the global context activity. And you can see that what I would like you to do is take the learner profile. On this table, I'd like you to rank the 10 most important aspects of the learner profile which are important for lifelong learning. And on this one, you've got the global context activity. So I'd like you to rank in order of preference, looking at the global context and looking at those and seeing which ones of those in order do you think are the most important for lifelong learning. Okay, in fact, if you would like to do that one, that's probably better. And you can do the ATL one, which is looking at the 5 skill categories in the 10 clusters and then choosing 2 indicators from each cluster to which you think are the most important ones for lifelong learning. Thank you very much for spending 10 minutes doing that. That was a fantastic activity. What I'd like you to do now is jigsaw this. So if you were a global context person, you can meet up with an ATL person and you can share your ideas of what you think is really important for lifelong learning. So would you like to just move around and you share your findings with other people?
Yes. Wow. You're going to get one seat here, I think.
Really interesting on this table was the mention that you had. You had a really good idea about the holistic learning. And again, that is key to the MYP. We really look at all the different subjects, putting them all together, looking at the relationships that they have, building interdisciplinary units, and trying to really look at everything all together. That's really what I'm looking at. There are 3 quotes here. I'll just leave you to look at them on the board that really look at holistic learning and how the MYP incorporates holistic learning in order to really encourage this lifelong learning. Okay, in terms of, this is an interesting quote that I found here. The Dalai Lama said that the more calm and more peace, more compassion, more international feeling is very good for our health. And I put that there. That's really interesting because you picked up on international mindedness and how important that was to have the relationship between the students and the teachers and how this can profoundly shape educational outcomes. This links into my final activity for today's learning engagement, which is looking at, on your tables you'll see, there is the internal assessment higher level rubric. And what I would like you to do is examine the rubric, and if you were a learner profile person, you can pick out which aspects of the higher level internal assessment use the skills which students have learnt from the learner profile, which ones from the ATL, how you think that the concept-based approach of the MYP can be led into the diploma, how the global contexts are incorporated, international mindedness, and how all of these things can come together to enhance writing and mathematical internal assessment. Really looking at the skills that they've learned in the MYP and express them into the DP. And if that happens, then hopefully those skills will be present forever and they will become lifelong learners. So I'll just give you 10 minutes to look at that. Okay, thank you. We're just about to conclude today's session. So if I could just give you 5 minutes to summarize what you found out today, and can you answer these questions? Do you think that looking at this approach and looking at the model and breaking everything down and then building it back up again, that the IB does promote lifelong learning? What can we do in the classroom to ensure that this philosophy is being fulfilled? And is it necessary to have all of those elements? When you did Jigsaw and you talked to the ATL and the learner profile, was it necessary to have all of those elements, or do you think some are redundant?
Okay,
Should we just? All right. Any other questions? Okay, it's 4 o'clock time for cookies. Thank you.
Well done.